Peter, appreciate you being out here in Georgia for a good cause. Got to ask you about some Georgia football right out of the gate, and Kirby Smart going into year 4. You know, there's a narrative out there now that Kirby's got to get past Alabama. He's done a lot his first 3 years. Where do you sit with Kirby Smart, what he's done, and where he ranks among college coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I know Athlon had that whole article about the top 130 coaches out there, and they had him in the top 5. And you're really, the only reason why you wouldn't have him even higher than that is for those 2 games, right? The X's and O's of the Alabama game, whether in the national championship game or the SEC championship game. And I think, we've talked about it amongst us here at the SEC Network and SiriusXM about right now, this was the year that it was going to be about Georgia, right? I felt like even the first couple years for Kirby, he was a little bit ahead of the curve. But now this is the time where you were expected to get the fruits of that labor. The recruiting class has been great. You have Fromm, who was an automatic leader from day one. This is the year that actually should be Georgia with everybody chasing them, including Alabama.
All right, there's been some talk about the Georgia-Florida rivalry. It's been played in Jacksonville for a long time. Kirby's talked about the recruiting implications, though, of giving up that home game and how big that weekend would be. Obviously, there's a value to that game, a fiscal value to Jacksonville, and the money staying in Florida. Would you be surprised to see when that contract run out, that turn into a home and home or a Athens-Jacksonville type of series?
I've been around sports enough to know that everything's a negotiation. So I also believe that that's maybe one of the situations where, yes, Kirby has an absolute valid point that why are you giving away one of your biggest recruiting weekends, especially on a coach that's so dialed in and really knocks it out of the park recruiting every single year. What could he do with that weekend? And maybe that's the difference. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to, hey, we'll put that out there. There's no bad answer on it whatsoever. I personally like it in Jacksonville simply for the fact of I think in college it's all about tradition, and I think we're getting farther and farther removed away from the great traditions of this game, and just seeing that stadium 50-50, the city blowing up and having a good time. I hope we keep it that way, but I hope the deal works great for Georgia and Florida going forward.